I'm ready.
Okay, hello and welcome. This is a special JET interview supplement vlog. I'm here today at the BOE, the Kyoiku Inkai, where we come to discuss matters about work. And luckily, I have with me 4 new JETs who have all just been through the interview process very recently. So we're going to go around the table and talk to them a little bit about their interview experience. So first up is Eric from America. Actually, all 4 of them are from America. And then we're going to have Seth, Lauren, and Ashley. And Ashley has grievances with my previous vlog, so she will air those grievances. The first thing I'm going to ask them all to talk about is something that they remember from their interview or something they were asked, because I know all of you are very curious about what questions you will get. Okay, first up, Eric.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, it's almost Valentine's Day.
I was asked a question that was very surprising to me, which was, what if a student or teacher asks you why America is such a violent country?
Really?
And
Wow.
I didn't know what the question meant, if it meant like foreign policy or just like people in the street with handguns, but and I'm not quite sure what I said or if I would recommend my answer if I remembered it, but I think the point would be with such a question would be to answer it in a professional manner and take a few moments to think about it and don't paint yourself into a corner with some strange social theory or something like that. I think that they were just trying to see if you could think on your feet and see it through.
Has any student ever asked you about why, now that you've been here, why America is so violent?
A few teachers have made comments about American culture that were hard to answer, but we've always had a good relationship, so it was never awkward to talk about such things.
Okay. All right, and so next we have Seth. Seth, what's something you remember from your interview?
A question.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so in my interview, they actually asked me a lot about my major, because I'm a music major.
Oh, okay.
So one of the questions that I got, which was a little surprising, was they wanted me to name 3 20th century composers.
Wow.
And their contributions to music.
Was somebody on your... Did you have 3 people interviewing you?
Yes.
Was
2
somebody...
really cute Japanese people and 1 American
former Jet?
guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you... were one of them also into music that they asked you this question, or do you think it was just... Wow.
I don't know how they would know it, but...
And did you come up with a good answer?
Yeah, it was excellent.
Awesome. Okay. Hi, next we have Lauren. Lauren?
Hello.
Hello.
I interviewed in Atlanta, and I got some weird questions.
Okay.
But I think the weirdest was they asked me, like, Japan can be rather conservative. What if your principal won't let you wear pants since you're a woman?
Okay.
I said, well, I guess I will bring skirts. And they said, well, what if you can't find skirts? Because I'm really tall.
Right.
I said, well, what if you can't find skirts in your size? I said, I will order them off the internet. And they kept going. They said, what if the store doesn't deliver to Japan?
Wow.
I said, then I guess I'm going to learn how to make a skirt.
That's great.
They wanted me to just keep coming up with a new situation
Sure.
that was new so that I wouldn't just give up on something.
And did you also have 3 people on your panel?
Yes.
And how long did your interview last?
Mine was kind of long because I think they kept drilling me because they knew that, I don't know.
Like 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
About 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
is mine, so.
Okay, great. And
Internet's
Ashley,
famously
hello.
Hello!
And
First of all, that whole story from Jason's last vlog about me showing up to my interview soaking wet was a lot funnier when I told it.
It's true.
it's true. Eric was
Eric
there.
was there.
Okay.
So
I was
anyway,
laughing.
moving on.
Go mend the side.
He's not that sorry.
Right. So something you remember from your interview other than being wet?
From my interview, other than being wet. Oh, okay, I got to talk about social theory.
Really? What was your major in college?
Well, I studied anthropology. I have my master's degree in anthropology. So I got to talk a lot about social theory. I think I talked something about like the difference between post-structuralism and post-modernity. I'm not sure. But I also got to talk about Can Jam and how Can Jam is a frisbee game that was invented where I come from, which is Buffalo, New York, and basically how great Can Jam was. So I guess my biggest advice is just be yourself and answer honestly.
Okay. And you had 3 people?
I did. I had 3 people, and I got asked a really stupid question. And I kind of said, not so many words. I think that's a stupid question. Can you please rephrase it? And they were a little stuck for what to do, but we eventually worked it.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's good.
Just be yourself.
Okay. So last, just any advice for these people have their interviews? You guys mostly have your interviews in what, like 2 weeks? So any big advice that you have?
I have one more thing.
Sure. Go ahead.
One of my 3 panel members was Japanese woman who I think worked for the consulate or something like that. And she said almost nothing. And I realized about halfway through the interview that I had barely looked at her, which is probably somewhat rude. So I would just keep in the back of your mind that you want to make sure that everyone thinks that you're being polite, whatever that might be in the certain circumstances that you find yourself in.
Okay. And I have another real quick question before we get to their last thing. Were any of you asked to do a demonstration lesson? And if so, what was it? Demonstration lesson?
I was asked to demonstrate a holiday. I think I chose Halloween and did a rather poor job of it. Just remember that whatever you say, and you should prepare this in advance because you know about it already. You have to talk really simply and really slowly as if you're talking to children. If you speak like you're giving sociology discourse.
Right. Like what Ashley just talked about.
Yeah, they're going to say, you realize you're talking to children, don't you? And then you're going to feel really silly and
it's been borne out by being here, don't you think? Your kids need to be talked to very slowly.
Exactly. So think about how you can talk about your holiday in the simplest terms.
Demonstration lesson?
No.
Demonstration lesson?
Not really. They asked how I would teach, like my technique or whatever. I said very hands-on and arts and crafts.
Okay. Demonstration lesson?
I did a self-introduction. They gave me some whiteboard markers and said, "There's a whiteboard." And I stood up for a second and was kind of like, "Oh, okay." And I just started drawing pictures. And again, if they want you to do a demonstration lesson or a presentation that's intended to be for students, make sure you're clear and slow and concise. If you have an aid, use aids, use pictures. Use whatever you have.
So last, any words of advice, Mr. Seth?
Be really happy. I was scared to death, but I was really happy and smiled a whole lot. And I tried, because before I came, I heard, you might get asked questions about Japan, so I studied like a mother trying to get it all in.
Yeah.
And actually, pushed to, incorporate things. So I knew, about some Japanese fashion, so I, they're like, what are your interests? Well, I like Japanese fashion, and here, this, and this, and this. And whenever I said that, they're like, ooh. Yeah. So,
but you knew zero Nihongo when you came, or a little bit?
I studied a little bit by myself, but...
And you took a little before you came?
About a little over a year.
Okay. Piece of advice, Lauren.
Dress professionally, but act like you're in a classroom with kids. I mean, you have to be a professional, but they want super excited people.
Genki,
so
genki.
Don't be dull.
Yeah.
And try and make them laugh, but don't lose your cool.
Okay. And Nihongo before you came? No.
Still.
Be very genki and be yourself. If you are yourself inherently and they don't want you, it's probably better for everybody that way. And I got to talk about Japanese literature during my interview, which
nice.
I'm really interested in, so that was cool. And I did not study
Nihongo?
Japanese
No.
before I came.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. So there you go, straight from people that just did it about a year ago. And you know what? Shimane, as I've said many times, the best prefecture in Japan because all 4 of them are staying a second year, and we're very happy about that. Yay. Okay, thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.